Hello, everybody. Welcome to Briskie Business. This program this week is going to be an absolute riot, and I'll get to that in a moment. Keep sending me your notes, your emails at briskiebusiness@ntvusa.com. We're going to continue to style the program to your interests. You know, we had some folks looking for different things. We've had now city officials, government officials, all types of different walks of life, because there's so many ways to earn a living out there, and you have to find your passion. And so keep letting me know what interests you. Go back and catch some of the other episodes if you'd like at ENTV USA app, and you can find all the episodes for Briskie Business living there. The program, we're going to continue to do it in these 4 segments: Brisk Business Basics, which is the foundational principles of business; Brisk Buy or Bail; Brisk Bulls and Bears, public markets segment; and Brisk Best and Brightest, really a segment that keys in on mentorship, but really the entire platform of Briskie Business is really about mentorship and finding paths and patterns and offering tips and tidbits to make maybe your business life and your career path a little bit easier. So you know what? Let's go ahead and get started. And today I've got a very, very special guest. This man, he's born in New York to Cuban immigrants. He's studied at Fordham University, and you that watch this program know that Fordham is near and dear to my heart. He's a graduate of Brooklyn Law School. He passed bar, the Florida bar, so obviously a pretty smart guy. He admitted to practice in federal appellate courts and has published opinions on immigration and criminal matters in the 9th and 11th circuits. So this guy's done some things. In 1998, he assisted in a pro bono capacity on a Honduran organization which assisted in obtaining TPS for Hondurans after Hurricane Mitch had struck. Media platforms talking to the population of Honduras as to what TPS entails, and he was actually invited to Honduras to give some of those talks. In 2000 through 2015, so quite a long run, he was a regular on Telemundo, which included coverage of the Irving Gonzalez case, which he also did some work on at the very end of the Irving case, which is a very, very large and notable immigration case here in the Miami area and the United States, really, and around the world it went. He represented pro bono as well, so this guy has a giving heart. 5 players and the coach of a Cuban soccer team in obtaining political asylum for them. Currently practicing in a broad range of legal capacities, and I think that's really, really interesting. He's really spread his wings. So although he's certainly an expert in immigration, he certainly has expertise in other forms of law that he practices. He also has a program on ENTV USA. In fact, it's right after my program about immigration and the borders, and a very, very interesting program. And the best thing about this program for me is that he graduated in 1983 from Fordham. I graduated in '83 from Fordham, and frankly, we have been friends since we started Fordham, 1979. So this is a 40-plus year friendship that we have that continues to be in the making. It's my pleasure to welcome Irving Gonzalez, attorney at law, to Briskie Business. Irv, buddy, welcome to the program. How are you doing today?
Thank you, my friend. Doing very well. It's a pleasure being on this program with you. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, my pleasure. I would be on your program, but since it's all in Spanish, and my Spanish is so solid, you know, we wouldn't want anyone to feel less than if they were to hear me speak Spanish on your program. So I've had to avoid that. Sorry. So as you know, buddy, this is Brisk Business Basics. And you know what? You've got a pretty esteemed career and an unbelievable path. You're the first attorney we've ever had on the program. And obviously, there's a lot out there that'll be graduating law school and so forth. And you have a lot of interesting things to say about this, but why don't you take us back to when you graduated Brooklyn Law? Is that where you graduated? And tell us about that early career and what kind of path you took, and maybe what advice comes out of that based on your experience now.
Absolutely. Well, that's right. I graduated Brooklyn Law back in February of 1987. Should have graduated in '86, but after my first year of law school, I decided to work full-time and go to school at night, since I was working at a brokerage firm on Wall Street doing pension plans. That's basically what I wanted to do while I was going through law school. And after I graduated, I decided what I'm going to do is work as in-house counsel for this multinational company and just write pension plans. I never wanted to see the inside of a courtroom, never wanted to practice law per se, except in that capacity. And then unbeknownst to me, my life totally changed when I moved back to Florida.
And how did it change? I mean, so you were in New York, and first of all, what made you move back to Florida? Why did that happen? And then how did it change so profoundly?
Well, what made me move back to Florida is my parents were here. My parents always lived here, even though I thought that I would always stay in New York. And then I met somebody who I'm now divorced from, but was ultimately my wife, the mother of my daughter. And I decided to move to Florida, and I had to start all over here because, as you said before, I was admitted, or I had passed the New York and New Jersey bar exams, never intending to take the Florida bar exam. Then I found myself here in Florida, not being able to practice as an attorney, starting to work at a firm as a law clerk, and having to take the bar exam while I was already admitted to practice somewhere else, but not able to practice my profession when I was here.
So that probably in itself in this segment is probably pretty good advice, right? When you first get started, take those opportunities that, just come your way, because you never know what path it might put you on.
Absolutely. We go to school, as we all know, we decide on a career path. But as you said, you have to keep your eyes open, because there's always roads that you could veer off of, or there's something right in front of you that you're like, this is my path. This is what I need to do. It's not always what we set out to do that we ultimately do. And I'm an example of that. I started clerking here at a firm that did real estate work. So I learned about the real estate all the way from title policies to the sale of the property. They did some probate work, so I learned about some probate work. I learned a lot about general law, things, as I said, that when I was going to law school, I never had an interest in, nor did I ever think that I wanted to do.
I think that's the most interesting thing really about your law career, is that it became such a well-rounded career. Everyone thinks of you as an immigration attorney, and you are an incredible immigration attorney. But really, your practice has transcended over time to give you a very, someone that would have a lot of value as a lawyer.
Well, it has. After that firm, I decided, for reasons not getting along with some of the attorneys there, as you and I have spoken about in the past, I decided to go off and work for another attorney, as I was now becoming an attorney in Florida. And his practice was primarily in the criminal arena. So I learned how to do a lot of criminal work, not only state, but mostly federal criminal work. So that opened other doors up for me, which also dovetailed with immigration, because some people that are immigrants in this country first come to an attorney because they've had some type of legal problem. Now they need to get their legal issue straightened, as well as their immigration issue, which could be losing their residency or something like this. So yeah, everything that I've done, as you say, has kind of dovetailed to where I'm at today.
So ultimately, we know that you've started your own firm and have your own firm right now. And I know there's folks out there that have graduating law school or been out a few years. What advice can you give them where they're always saying, I'm ready to start my own firm? What type of advice can you give them?
Make sure that you're ready to start your firm. In my case, I was kind of forced to do it. The attorney that I was working with at the time, or working for really at the time, he was indicted in a federal criminal case. Obviously nothing to do with me. I wasn't involved in anything that he had to do. But now I found myself at a point where he was going to close down his practice. I didn't want to be related to that practice, so it was tough to get a job somewhere else, and that's when I decided to go out on my own. I kind of was forced to go out on my own. So it's not very easy. So if you're not ready to do it and you have other avenues open to you, even if it's not necessarily working as an attorney in a law firm, hanging your shingle, so to speak, or working in a company, do that until you're really ready, until you kind of have a little bit of a book of business that maybe will help you through those first few months.
Yeah, I'm sure that can be super difficult, and that's like in any business. And I think people miss that, right? You run a business, and I've met with people that said, I'm going to, they're graduating school, and I'm going to start my own firm right away. And I think they miss out on the fact that you're running a business as well, aren't you? I think we've got about a minute. So it's not just the legal side. You got a business to run, don't you?
Without a doubt, you have to run a business. You have to make sure the payroll is met. You have to pay your rent. You have to pay for everything. So you have to have both hats on. You have to have the hat as a businessman, but you also have to wear that hat as an attorney.
And how difficult is that, just getting started, to wear both hats?
it's really difficult, Dave. It's difficult to the point where there were times when, I paid everybody else except for myself because you had to meet commitments. So it wasn't the easiest start, but it got us to where we're at today.
Yeah, I mean, you fought through it, right? The last, I always have a coffee cup, and I got this one for you that we'll get through in a later segment. But, I've used one that said never, never give up, and I know that was your case. And I also know that you have a huge heart for pro bono work, and now you're in this situation where you're in your own firm, and it's probably very, very difficult to even consider doing pro bono work when you're trying to also earn a paycheck for yourself.
It is, but you know what? And something that's so important, I think you got to give back to the community. And if you don't give back to the community, then you're not doing a service to yourself or to anyone else. So you're absolutely right. Working for yourself, you need to make that money. You need to make the paycheck. You need to be able to pay everything. But one advice that I could also give people starting out is never lose track of that. Never lose track that there's something bigger out there, that there's a bigger goal, a bigger mission for all of us. And by helping others, you eventually really are helping yourself. You're reaping those benefits in one way or another.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense, man. It really, really does. It's so cool to have a conversation with you, hanging out. 40-something year friendship. Here we are. I don't know how we end up on the same platform, on a media platform, one show after the other, and learn some values, I think, from Fordham, which we're going to get into in some later segments. So it's really a pleasure to have Irving Gonzalez, attorney at law, on the program of Briskie Business. Believe it or not, that went by like that. This wraps up Brisk Business Basics, and we're going to be back in a moment on Brisk Buy or Bail on Briskie Business.
Super Greens is a one-of-a-kind blend that's loaded with hard-to-find nutrient-dense superfoods. We've used what we've learned from our more than 20 years working with mineral-based nutrition to create one of the healthiest, plant-based nutritional products available. Each superfood was carefully selected so that it complements and enhances the others, helping to maximize Super Greens' nutritional power. Next, we added a specialized fermentation technique to increase the bioavailability of each superfood. Finally, we put in powerful probiotics and enzymes for added digestive support to give you jam-packed nutritional support. Youngevity Super Greens, the highly alkalinizing super supplement that helps balance your body. It's the superfood-powered way to get more organic fruits and veggies in your day, all in just one scoop. Check with your Youngevity distributor to learn more.
Paying attention to your overall health also means focusing on the command center of it all, your brain. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and the bombardment of pollutants and toxins can all diminish brain and neural functions. When was the last time you concentrated on your brain health? Synaptive by Youngevity is a cutting-edge, unique brain support supplement that delivers powerful nutrients both immediately and throughout the day. Its anti-stress nutrients provide instant brain-boosting support that helps with mental focus and cognitive activity. To enhance your body's neuroprotection, Synaptive's full-spectrum antioxidant blend targets 6 major classes of free radicals that inhibit brain function. This powerful nutrient combination also promotes healthy blood flow to the brain. Synaptive, optimal antioxidant neuroprotection and support for a healthy brain. Now that's something to think about. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Are you looking for high entertainment and energy in your media? Download the ENTV USA app now. You're not going to want to miss what we got to offer. We are ENTV USA. Click and subscribe. Con una vista, basta.
Understanding your microbiome can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
A strong heart is a happy heart. Your body's systems depend on a healthy cardiovascular system to thrive. Without a healthy heart, you could experience symptoms like fatigue, aches and pains, dizziness, or shortness of breath. Longevity developed Ultimate EFA Plus with a proprietary balanced blend of essential fatty acids. We started with flaxseed oil. It's been shown to improve the elasticity of arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Next, we included cold water fish oils, rich in omega-3s that can promote a healthy cardiovascular system and even increase levels of good HDL cholesterol. Then we added borage oil, known for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Blended together, these essential fatty acids provide you with the optimal blend of nutrients to help maintain normal cardiovascular health. Ultimate EFA Plus, the right nutrients to improve your heart health naturally. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. This section of the program or segment is Risk Buy or Bail. I happen to have a really close friend of mine who's a prominent attorney here in South Florida and really in the country. Irving Gonzalez is on the program with me. Irv, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Dave. Again, I'm glad to be here with you.
Yeah, this is a riot. So risk, buy, or bail. So this is the decision-making process, and I have to imagine a man in your position with the number of clients that you're talking to on a daily basis. You're making buy or bail decisions on a continual basis. Tell me about, what process you go through in making a buy or bail decision, and it might even be when you're interviewing a client. I really don't know. I've never been an attorney before, so tell me about that.
Well, it all starts when you interview that client. They will go ahead and explain to you why they're there, what their problem is. And sometimes you can't do anything. And if you can't do anything, the best thing you can do for that client or that prospective client at that point is say, listen, today, the way the law stands, there's nothing you can do. Don't waste your money. Don't do anything. Don't try to file any papers that are only going to get you into more trouble. Just sit and wait. Let's see if the laws change. Let's see if something happens in the future. And unfortunately, I have to tell that to a lot of people on a daily basis, but that's the reality. We can't take a case on when we know we can't do something for someone.
Wow, that happens more often than you might think then.
Right, it does. I would say, 70 to 80% of the people that I sit down with really don't have any immediate form of relief. I've had people that I've told this to, and years later now, all of a sudden they do have a form of relief, and they've come back, but they have to wait out the process. It's sometimes a waiting game.
I understand, and that's your integrity showing through, because I'm sure there's cases where people will take on a check just the same, and I know that's why your reputation is so stellar down here, because you're going to tell people like it is, and the truth. Oh wow, it really matters in your profession, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and we try. And unfortunately, people sometimes don't want to hear the truth. People want to hear what they want to hear, but I think the job of anybody, not only an attorney, but anybody who's a professional, is to tell people the way things really are, not just tell them, not just give them lip service and say, oh yes, this is how it is. No, the reality of your situation is this is what could happen. And I think you need to tell everybody all the negative as well as all the positive that can happen. I don't consider myself, and you know me, a pessimist. I'm a realist, and that's what I try to do, not only in my life, but in business, and show that to people.
Irv, you got that other 30% that obviously have the potential to become clients. Do the 100% of those other 30, are they always buy decisions for you to take them on as a client?
Not at all. There's sometimes cases where I get that feeling, and I think it's that feeling that we get from practicing for so long that there may be an issue here. And if there's an issue, I go through a whole nother process with those people before I take on their representation.
And what does that other process look like?
That other process, let's assume it's somebody that comes in on a marriage interview. They've married a United States citizen. If I get a gut feeling that there may be something wrong there, I will take that couple, I will separate them, and I will go through a marriage interview as though they were at immigration. If I see that the answers to the questions that I'm asking, and they're going to be, well, sometimes they're actually tougher than some of the immigration officers ask, if they can't satisfy me that this is a real marriage, I will not do it. I had a case, for example, where an attorney from another country came in and said, my son's going to marry someone. Please, we want you to represent him. I separated them, and I said to them afterwards, listen, this isn't a real marriage. The parents' answer was, oh, but it will be a real marriage in the future. I said, well, if it's ever a real marriage, let me know. Bottom line is, they came back to me years later. The kid was in deportation proceedings, and he was ultimately deported for marriage fraud.
Well, you know what? It's great that you have an eye and an ear for that to keep yourself out of trouble. And frankly, you'd be keeping them out of trouble if they'd listen. But I find that that's interesting, right? I guess you just can't let the financial gain steer your acceptance of a client, can you?
You can't. And when we were talking about that earlier, about people going in business, starting business, you can't do that. Because once you do that, the integrity is lost. What you're really set out to do is lost. So if you can't represent somebody zealously, but knowing that your representation is a righteous representation of that person, then the suggestion is don't do it, even if the money's there, even if you need the money. Do something else with your life, with your career.
But you got some, that's kind of the negative side of it. But I would have to imagine you got some pretty gratifying experiences in your line of work.
I have, and some of them were paying clients, and some of them were clients who were pro bono. I've had cases of people at one point, some people were being detained at airport expense in a hotel if they did what they call transiting without a visa. And I had this one lady in particular who was from Liberia. And when we got to the courtroom setting with the judge, with the prosecutor, she starts to testify about how she was brutally raped because she went out in search of her grandfather who had been, she found out later on, tortured and killed by these people. And, the courtroom, believe it or not, everybody in the courtroom started crying with this lady's testimony. We were able to have her obtain her status in this country. She received her asylum, ultimately became a citizen of this country. And that's gratifying because that's what our immigration laws are for, to help people like that who really become part of our society and do something for this country.
Wow, that can be very powerful. And I know you've had a number of cases. You've also had some pretty famous clients over the years as well. What is that like working with, clients like that? It's,
as a kid, you always think, one day maybe I'll meet somebody famous. It's pretty gratifying. I mean, I've represented people in the soap opera industry because of my connections with Telemundo doing the news. I was able to represent a lot of people that start in their soap operas for them to obtain their residency. I've represented a couple of baseball players, one in particular with his citizenship. And it's pretty gratifying to be able to help these people as well, and just to be able to call them somehow, an acquaintance, a friend. One of them actually had a friendship with, and it's pretty gratifying. One, to be able to help them, and to know that somebody that we see on TV that we think has everything and needs for nothing, that someone is able to help them obtain a status, obtain a better life, as it were, in the United States by having that citizenship or that residency here.
Yeah, I remember. I think, didn't you also represent El Duque with the Mets? Is that who he played for?
I did. He played. He actually played for the Yankees, and he played for the White Sox, and he finished his career with the Mets. Yes, I was able to represent him. I obtained him as a client because of a friend that I had at Telemundo, who was actually one of the people that he came to this country with. So I was able to obtain that, and because of my representation of his buddy and of him, of El Duque's, he gave me, wish it would have been a Yankees since I'm a big Yankees fan, but he gave me one of his game jerseys from the White Sox.
Oh, wow. And how gratifying was it to represent him, and where was the ultimate result? Did he become a citizen here?
He became a citizen of the United States. It was so gratifying to be able to help him because he is really the nicest person, or one of the nicest people that you will ever meet in your life. Really down to earth. He's not what everybody speaks about, these ball players and stuff. And you've met a lot of football players, a lot of sports personalities who are good friends of yours, who aren't that persona on TV. And to meet somebody like him and see what he's like was just so gratifying, and being able to help him.
Well, that's awesome, and that's the good side of what you do. So we've got about a minute left. Tell me about your experience with at the very end. I know you started covering the whole alien case, and 30, 40 seconds at the end, that became a big thing. What was that like near the end? I know you got involved at the very end of that case.
I was able to get involved, as you said, at the end, because since I was covering it for Telemundo, I really wasn't able to work on it. But when I was able to speak to Manny Diaz, who's one of the people that at the very end, towards the middle of it, took a lot of control of the case, I started working on the appeals. And it was really tough, because this was a kid that really should have stayed in this country. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. There are a lot of things that happen that a lot of people don't know of. And just to have heard that from his family here in Miami, to have heard about his dad and what his dad really wanted for him, for Elian, it was gratifying to help, but it was so emotional when that little boy was put on that plane and taken back to that country, because you knew that his life would really never be a normal life and would never be the same again.
Well, I'm sure he appreciates the effort. I know the family did and all of that, but so things don't always end as we want them to. So listen, man, that went by super fast. We're going to wrap up this segment right here, and we're going to be back as we've just concluded Brisk Buy or Bail. We'll be back with Irving Gonzalez, attorney at law with Brisk Bulls and Bears, next.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate. A strong heart is a happy heart. Your body's systems depend on a healthy cardiovascular system to thrive. Without a healthy heart, you could experience symptoms like fatigue, aches and pains, dizziness, or shortness of breath. Youngevity developed Ultimate EFA Plus with a proprietary balanced blend of essential fatty acids. We started with flaxseed oil. It's been shown to improve the elasticity of arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Next, we included cold water fish oils, rich in omega-3s that can promote a healthy cardiovascular system and even increase levels of good HDL cholesterol. Then we added borage oil, known for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Blended together, these essential fatty acids provide you with the optimal blend of nutrients to help maintain normal cardiovascular health. Ultimate EFA Plus, the right nutrients to improve your heart health naturally. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
We are ENTV USA. Log on now and check out our live shows and subscribe. You don't want to miss this. Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Linea Deportiva, a sports line. At 7 p.m., O Que Chisme, the best celebrity gossip show with Odi Abreu. At 8 p.m., Punto Final, another angle of news. 9 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays, we have Alo Cortez with Tony Cortez. Tuesdays at 9 p.m., Dame Un Like. Thursdays, also at 9 p.m., De Noche con Roche. Fridays, 9 p.m., Mas con Mas with Raul Mascanosa. Every Wednesdays at 4 p.m., we've got Briskie Business with Dave Briskie. Followed by Inmigración en Fronteras with lawyer Irving Gonzalez at 5 p.m. This is our programming for ENTV USA from right here in Miami for the rest of the world. Con una vista, basta. Show some love and give us a like.
As you age, the collagen that helps keep your body in optimal physical condition breaks down faster than your body can replace it. But now, it's easy to give your body the healthy dose of collagen it needs with Collagen Creamer from Youngevity. It's a delicious vanilla-flavored coffee creamer that's packed with 7.5 grams of bovine-sourced collagen peptides. Youngevity's Collagen Creamer uses 2 types of collagen to better supply the protein needed to repair and strengthen the connective tissue in your body. It also supports healthy hair, skin, nails, and even bones. We've also formulated Collagen Creamer with MCT, healthy fats that the body is able to absorb and convert into an instant boost of energy. Add it to coffee or one of your other favorite beverages when you need it. Youngevity Collagen Creamer. Support for healthy connective tissue and more energy, all in a tasty vanilla-flavored creamer. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Cardio Beats from Youngevity supports a healthy cardiovascular system and helps supply the nutrients your body needs to support better physical endurance. Your capacity to last a little longer is largely based on how well your cardiovascular system expends oxygen and circulates blood through your body. Cardio Beats helps combat the oxidative stress caused by physical activity by supplying you with key nutrients that support your cardiovascular system. These nutrients have also been shown to help improve endurance. Cardio Beats starts with organic beets, a rich source of nitrates to support healthy blood flow and oxygen transport. We've added whole foods from highly bioavailable seaweed and mango fruit, both known for blood flow support, and antioxidant-rich sweet cherries. Then, for even more heart health benefits, we finished it off with key amino acids. Take your physical endurance to the next level with Cardio Beats. Talk to your Youngevity associate for more information.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. This segment of the program is Brisk Bulls and Bears. We talk about the public markets. And I've got Irving Gonzalez, attorney at law, with me. And we're having a really, really compelling conversation about what he does as an attorney and his broad range of capabilities. Irv, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Dave.
So listen, buddy, obviously we've got a long relationship that transcends 40 years of friendship and, started our lives here at Fordham. And, it took us a while to figure out how we get our investment footing. So we talk a little bit about public markets here, but I think you take a different path when it comes to investing, don't you?
I absolutely do, Dave. It's not the investments that everybody thinks of what I do. I think I more invest in the future of this country. And by that I say, since I work as an immigration attorney, since I have the privilege of being able to do that, by being able to help people become residents, become citizens of this country, they are ultimately people who work here, who provide, who start businesses here, who employ other people. So if anything, I would say I invest in the human being more than in anything else.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, some people may be listening to that going, can that be real? And it is real for you, and I know that. I know you give an awful lot back to the community. You certainly do an awful lot of pro bono work as well, and have done some great things. And I know that you've created opportunities for people that have had an unbelievable impact on your life, as it should. From an investment standpoint, I want to say that you're not a big public markets guy. I think you've gone down another path from actual investing, haven't you?
Yeah, I've invested more in some real estate. I've dabbled a little bit in it, not that much, but not really in the in stocks, as it were. As I said, real estate, and then what I can do by my work.
And invest, in other words, investing in your practice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and that's, that's certainly another way. And we try to help people to accumulate wealth. A lot of times people think that there's just one single path, but there's so many ways to do it as long as you're continuing to invest those dollars in something that can provide a return, which obviously your business has for many, many years.
Right.
And so let's talk about some of those moments where you've created really, I guess, the American dream for people.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's great. That story that I was telling you about before, that person that came into this country seeking political asylum. I've had people that have been here on business visas who have invested, have started companies here. They could be from starting restaurants, starting with one and have gone to 2, 3, 4, 10 and more restaurants, different types of businesses. So it's very rewarding in that sense because you get to see these people on a daily basis. You get to see that they've come in. You get to see their struggles, and then you get to see the way that they've really made it. But it's always important because I tell everybody, like becoming a citizen, we get to enjoy everything that this country gives us, but we also have to remember that we have to put something back. Not only those of us born here, but those of us that immigrate to this country, we have to give something back to this great nation. And that's what I've seen a multitude of my clients do is create job opportunities even for other people here in this country.
Do you see a great level of pride when someone obtains citizenship?
Absolutely. So many people from other countries leave those countries because they can't vote. They don't have freedom of speech. They don't have certain freedoms that we, being born in this country, take for granted. And that day that they become citizens, you won't believe how many people send me pictures on Facebook, post it, holding a little American flag in front of a Statue of Liberty that they have, a mock Statue of Liberty there at the CIS, Citizenship and Immigration Services offices, when they become citizens. People that you would never think of, the smiles on their faces, Dave, is probably akin to, when we had our kids, being at the hospital, seeing your kids being born. These people are born again that day. They're citizens of the United States, and it's incredible for them.
I have to imagine that warms your heart in such a big way. Speaking of our kids, how's Ava doing?
Ava is doing just great. She's finishing up, hopefully, college by the end of the summer next summer, 2021.
So she's attending school in COVID times and pandemic times. What has that been like?
Yes, she is. Well, she does everything from home. So it's a little tough because she doesn't have that interaction with other students and the professors. But she's loving it. She's getting through it. Since we're in COVID time, she's gone through the full summer. So instead of starting her junior year now, she's almost starting her senior year because she'll be done if she keeps going by August.
What is she studying?
She's studying economics and finance right now. She hopefully she'll go to law school, is what she says right now. But as we know, we'll see what happens.
Following in your footsteps, eh?
We will see. We will see.
As we know, that things can pivot very quickly.
Yes, they can.
That is great. Please give her my love next time you speak to her, okay?
I surely will.
So, I'm going to change to a different subject. And, anyone that watches this knows this. And attorneys can be the brunt of so many jokes. I think of any profession there is, probably attorneys are the most abused in some way, shape, or form, and maybe in some cases it's warranted, maybe it's not. Why do you think that is? And obviously there's always a little truth behind every scenario like that.
There is some truth, as you say, and sometimes it's well deserved because sometimes people look at our profession and sometimes they see people that don't have scruples or don't have as many scruples as they should. But then there's a bunch of great people. I remember my mom, when I graduated, she gave me a shirt and basically defined lawyer as a person who protects his client from other members of his profession. And that's basically what it is. It's everybody looks at an attorney as somebody who is a liar or somebody who will bend the truth or somebody who will exaggerate the truth. And as I said, sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes some of us deserve to be the brunt of those jokes, and some don't. But I think it's like anything everywhere in the world.
Well, I think every profession has that for sure, right? There's always the good guys and the bad guys. I guess that's just the lives that we live in.
Right.
But in the case of attorneys, do you think that there's too many attorneys? Is it too easy to become an attorney in your mind, or are there too many attorneys out there?
I think there's probably too many attorneys that want to hang a shingle up and practice law. I think that going to law school is a phenomenal source, is a phenomenal education, that you don't necessarily need to only use it to say, as I said, hang a shingle, practice in a particular area of the law. You can use it for business. You can use it for so many things every day. But it's ingrained in us that if you go to law school, you have to open up an office or you have to go work in a big firm as an attorney. And that's not necessarily the case. So yes, in that sense, I would say that there are too many attorneys and not enough of us who use it as another form of education and to help us in our careers.
You know what? I think that is actually really good information when you think about it. If there wasn't so many attorneys that now have to, as you say, throw up a shingle, all of a sudden you're trying to make ends meet, and then all of a sudden, you know, the temptation to do something that may be unscrupulous might be in front of you, and then you know, financial struggle might make those difficult decisions, or bad decisions in some cases, which leads to these reputations. I have to say though, you know, in spite of the bad rap, if you get into some type of trouble or some type of issue, you know, one of those first phone calls you make is to an attorney, and you know that, and it's important to have a good one. And I consider it a huge blessing to be able to reach out to you in those cases, and I'm sure your clients feel the same way due to the solid work you're able to provide on a daily basis. So I appreciate you being one of the good guys out there.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. And I try to be a good guy. I'm sure some people out there may not think so sometimes. And, you know, sometimes it is fun, as you know, when we get together with friends, to be the brunt of those jokes. You know, sometimes it's fun, but not all the time.
Well, you're such an easy target, you know.
Yes, I am. That's true.
Okay, my friend. Hey, listen, it's great to talk about these things and chat it up. I do appreciate your honesty, your courage about your profession. You know, it's one of the things I think is lacking in our society right now, that people aren't able to laugh and cut it up and joke about certain things without taking it so personal. You know, we're all so politically correct right now, and that doesn't make for very strong relationships. But, you know, having one that transcends 40 years, trust me, we've done plenty of off-color comments back and forth. So I'm going to wrap up this segment. We're going to be back. We're going to finish up this segment and get back with Brisk's Best and Brightest. I'm with Irving Gonzalez, attorney at law.
Antioxidants are essential to protect your cells against the damaging effects of free radicals. Turmeric by Longevity harnesses the power of nature to combat free radicals by delivering a potent boost of antioxidants known for their incredible healing properties. Sourced from certified organic turmeric root, turmeric contains 95% curcuminoids, the active compounds that quash free radicals. Turmeric has been used in Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine for thousands of years to promote both heart and brain health, as well as its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. We've also included a botanical blend of phytonutrients that include flavonoids, carotenoids, and sulfides. These natural, plant-based chemicals are powerful contributors to overall health and well-being. Turmeric, the organic antioxidant supplement from Longevity, formulated to promote optimal health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Paying attention to your overall health also means focusing on the command center of it all, your brain. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and the bombardment of pollutants and toxins can all diminish brain and neural functions. When was the last time you concentrated on your brain health? Synaptive by Longevity is a cutting-edge, unique brain support supplement that delivers powerful nutrients both immediately and throughout the day. Its anti-stress nutrients provide instant brain-boosting support that helps with mental focus and cognitive activity. To enhance your body's neuroprotection, Synaptive's full-spectrum antioxidant blend targets 6 major classes of free radicals that inhibit brain function. This powerful nutrient combination also promotes healthy blood flow to the brain. Synaptive, optimal antioxidant neuroprotection and support for a healthy brain. Now that's something to think about. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting sugar-free berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you have to look it or feel it. Immortalium by Longevity was developed to support your body's ability to age normally and healthfully. It's an advanced anti-aging supplement that combines the most effective essential nutrients in a cutting-edge, bi-layered and extended release tablet designed to support your telomere health and natural aging process. Telomeres are the biological clocks within your cells that form the protective ends of almost every chromosome in your body. Telomeres help prevent the chromosomes from deteriorating. The longer and healthier the telomeres in a cell, the greater the health and anti-aging benefits. Immortalium contains synergizing antioxidant enzymes and telomere health-promoting nutrients that are quickly absorbed to give your body time to break down the antioxidants and put them to work. Immortalium, advanced anti-aging support that can help fight the natural aging process. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. I'm having a great conversation with Irving Gonzalez, attorney at law, and a very, very good friend of mine, guy that does it right. This section is Brisk's best and brightest, and this is all about mentorship. And Mr. Gonzalez has some very, very interesting start to his career that he'll share about mentorship. So let's bring Irving Gonzalez back on the program. Hey, Irv, this is the point of the program where I like to say sit back, have a cup of coffee. You know my wife, Sunshine, very well, and she picks out a cup for every guest, and this one is Kindness is Magic. And that lets you know what she thinks about you, and you are one of the most kind people we know, and some of the pro bono work you have done and stuff as a mentor has been amazing. So cheers to you, my friend. I can't wait to have a cup of coffee with you in person very soon.
Absolutely. And Lisa, thank you so very much for picking out that special.
So listen, let's talk about it. And mentorship, and you had a different perspective on mentorship and how it might have affected you in your early career. So why don't you share that with us?
Sure. I was already in Florida where I was working, as I had alluded to before, at a firm, being an attorney somewhere, but not in Florida yet. And the mentorship that I received, in particular from two attorneys that I had to deal with more, was really a negative mentorship. I saw them with an attitude that they were better than anybody else, that they were better than any of the staff because they were attorneys. In fact, at one point they said to me, because in the evenings I would go help my daughter's family who owns restaurants, I would help them at the restaurants, and one of the partners pulled me aside and said, "You are not allowed to do that anymore. You are an attorney, and our clients cannot see you doing that." I said to him, "I feel bad that that's what you're saying. Let me know when you want me to leave, because I'm ready to resign, because nobody's going to tell me that I cannot help my family." And that helped to form my outlook on what my career should be going forward. So I really do thank that person, because that person really became a mentor that helped me get to where I'm at today by his negative examples.
You know, that's really powerful. And I think people can use negative experiences as an excuse. And, you know, some can sit there and really pay attention to what's going on in their heart and actually rise above that and become better for it. And that sounds like what that experience did for you.
It really helped me because, you know, it wasn't only as I saw him demeaning to other people there. You know, he was demeaning to the ladies that worked at the firm. He was demeaning to me at times because I wasn't an attorney in Florida yet. He was demeaning because I was Hispanic, even though I was born in this country. But, you know, I'm Cuban. But even though I was born in this country and my last name is Gonzalez, I was treated differently by him. And that really taught me, not that I ever think that I treat people differently because of the color of their skin or their name, but that really showed me, you know what, this is not what I want in my firm if I ever do have a firm. At that point, I wasn't thinking of having my own firm. I was just going to look for the next place to go, and that's what I was alluding to before, that I left there to go work for another attorney in Miami.
Wow. So that, you know, I did a show on culture, and, you know, obviously it's on the ENTV USA app, and there's all types of cultures out there. Did that shape the culture you put in place for your own business and your career? Absolutely.
You know, in my place of business, Maria, who you know, who's worked for me for 27, 28 years now, who's my paralegal, it's always been about the staff. We are all one group. Yes, I'm the attorney, and just like you, the buck stops with me. If somebody in my office makes a mistake, it's my fault, it's my mistake. You have to take responsibility for it. But when it comes time to give somebody credit, because it's my office, I can't be the one taking the credit. Credit has to be given to the person who deserves the credit. And that's something that I learned by opposite of what this gentleman did at this other firm.
You know, you had mentioned receiving some accolades from a judge a few times that, you know, obviously a case that went well for you. And I thought that was such a moving story. It is really in line with this culture here. Tell me about that.
Okay, well, what happened in one particular story, we had this filing that had to be prepared. In immigration, we have filings to prove, like in anything else, to prove the basis of your case, what your case stands on. And the filing was well prepared. It was paginated. It had all the tabs. It had everything clearly done the way it needed to be done. And the judge complimented me in front of a packed courtroom. Said, Mr. Gonzalez, thank you so much for having this so well prepared and presenting it to me. And I said, Judge, thank you, but I didn't prepare it. I just signed it. I reviewed it. I will thank my assistant, Maria, as soon as I get to the office, because she's the one that deserves the praise, because it was true. She's the one that put the time and effort in to do it. And as soon as I got to the office, I thanked her for it.
That's great stuff. And that's probably why you have someone that's with you for 27 years as well.
It helps. It helps. She's, you know, she's like family. My daughter, whenever was born, she was there at the hospital. We've become family. That's the culture that I've also tried to have at the office, where it's just not me, Irv Gonzalez, as the attorney and boss. No, we all work together. She's not my secretary or my assistant. She's part of the team. We're all part of one team. The same way you work with everybody that you work with, we all form a team to get to that common goal, to that place we want to get to.
Yeah, that's critical stuff. I'm very, very big into culture, and you know that, and that's great to see that you know, that's, you know, working for you and how important it really is. I don't think there's enough importance on it anywhere really these days, you know. So I think we're just chasing the dollar. Hey, Bud, in right now in this time of a pandemic, you got all these kids coming out of school. I mean, you've got the situation. Fortunately, your daughter's maybe a year away. Hopefully, things are under control. But people are out there right now. What do you think they have to do to make a difference, to make something happen, to get out there and earn?
I think people first need to see what it is that they can contribute to society, contribute to the country as a whole. Yes, you need to make money. Yes, you need to go into something to be able to eke out as it is right now in existence. But never forget where you come from. Never forget what those goals that you set for yourself, review them on if not a daily basis, a weekly, a monthly basis, and keep going forward and making sure that you're doing everything that you've set out to do. And if you haven't, hey, that's okay. Change gears. Change your plan. That's what life is. We're changing plans. An airplane, when it flies from point A to point B, it's off course a lot, right? And it has to correct its course. And that's what we need to do as human beings and also as business people.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 1,000%. You've represented the Cuban soccer team. I remember it was in the news, and the coach, I want to believe, that I believe was a pro bono case. So here's you are giving again. Tell me about that. How did that come to be?
Well, in 2008, it happened in 2008. I remember because that's when my mom, God rest her soul, was in the hospital. Someone from Telemundo came to me and said, "Hey, listen, five players as of right now, and the coach of the Cuban soccer team have stayed in Tampa after a game, and we're going to cover the story. Would you be willing to represent them pro bono?" And of course, I said, "Sure, I'll represent them pro bono." And it was just an incredible feeling to be able to see these 5 kids, as it were, because they were all in their 22, 23 years old, and their coach, who had been around forever as a coach and who had been a player in Cuba, but to be able to help them out again. Obtain a status in this country, obtain that status of asylee, and then from there go on to become a resident, go on to become a citizen. In the case of one of the guys, I remember he was married and had a child, and because he became an asylee, his wife and child were able to immigrate from Cuba to the United States with that asylee status.
So they ultimately become citizens as well, or did you lose track of them?
I lost track after they became residents. But I'm sure at this point they've already become citizens. I know a couple of them were playing soccer, in some of the clubs. I think one was playing out in California a little bit. So I lost kind of track of them there, after they became residents. But I'm sure by this point they must have become citizens of this country.
30 seconds, gap moments. What do you do to find joy in your life every day?
What do I do to find joy in my life every day? Sit down and talk to my fiance. Sit down and talk to my 3 brothers, if it will, which are you, Dave Kupek, and Tony Catalano. Being able to talk about our families, that's what I do. And
I know that's true. You're the one, you really keep in touch with everyone, and it's always great when the phone rings and your name flashes up there, my friend. It's been great chit-chatting with you. Let's do this again sometime. We maybe could do a whole segment on immigration in your program here at ENTV USA that I know is really, really doing well. You are changing lives and making a difference every day in people's lives, and I appreciate that, my friend. I'm going to sign off. This is Dave Briskie of Briskie Business, and I've been chatting with Irving Gonzalez. Irv, thanks for being on the program.
Thank you, buddy.